Aaron Rodgers returning to the NFL for another year, playing for the Steelers. A big deal in isolation, but not really because we knew it was coming. We didn't know that yesterday he'd be visiting Pat McAfee yet again. Now, before I go any farther, let me reiterate something that I've said in the past. I don't think he should do McAfee's show this year. I don't think it helps the Steelers, and I don't think it helps him. I remember when Ben Roethlisberger used to do spots every week on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. He would say things that would become distractions. Steelers fans are going to hang on every single thing that Rodgers says, and anything he says can and will be used to fashion a narrative that will distract people from the task at hand, which is winning football games. He has no reason to do it. I'm sorry, Pat. I don't want to look. You'll be fine without Rodgers on there every week. I don't think people really care about Aaron Rodgers being on your show. I don't think they're tuning in to see Aaron Rodgers. I don't. You'll be fine. You don't need Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't need to do it, and the Steelers need him not to do it. Okay, with that said, the big headline from his appearance yesterday with McAfee was, I'm pretty sure this will be my final season. I did a thing yesterday with the Goldics about the collusion situation. Before we got to it, they asked me for my thoughts on what Rodgers said, and I said, look at what his words were. I'm pretty sure this will be my last season. Okay, yeah, so am I. So is everyone. We're all pretty sure it will be his last season. I don't even know why that's a headline. I know we wrote the story at PFT, and we have to, because he addressed it. But what's he saying? He's not saying anything we don't already know. Of course, it's fairly clear it's going to be his last season. And he said, well, that's why I did a one-year deal. That has nothing to do with it. Okay, if you do more than a one-year deal, that's for cap reasons. And you can do a 2-year deal and then retire. You can do a 1-year deal and do another 1-year deal. I'm pretty sure it's going to be my last season isn't news, although it became news. I get it because he said it. But it really doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know. We're all pretty sure it's going to be his last year. Here's the point that I made the other day. If it goes really well this year, both player and team should beware. No guarantee it's going to work for a second year. And I think for Rodgers, it's about finding the right moment to exit the stage for good. After the 2 disastrous years with the Jets, probably not the best way to go out. You want to go out with a playoff appearance, preferably a playoff win to make it look like a success for the Steelers. See, it's a success for Rodgers if he just gets to the playoffs. It's a success for the Steelers if they win a playoff game. Everything after that is gravy. And if they would somehow get to a Super Bowl or close to it, like Favre and the Vikings did in 2009, don't yield to the temptation to run it back. Oh, we got so close. Next year we can get there. Going to be a year older. You got to reset. You got to do it all over again. Back to the valley of 0 and 0. Just enjoy this ride and see where it takes you. And then figure out next year when next year comes. But don't let this year's outcome influence next year. So we're all pretty sure it's going to be his last year. We'll see a year from now or sooner whether or not that's the case. He also said, and he said this before, when I'm done playing, you won't see me. I don't want the attention. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. I'm trying not to use a swear word. I just don't believe it. He likes attention in a different way than the usual attention hound likes attention. He doesn't stand out in the street and scream for attention. He uses deliberate silence, strategic vacuum of nothing to get people to talk about it. He likes that mystery. He likes that uncertainty. He does. He does. You can go on. Aaron, you can go on. Call me out. I don't care. That's what I believe. I've been paying attention to your career for 20 years. That's what we do. We cover the NFL. You like attention. And I don't believe he's just going to disappear. Here's why. Why is he doing McAfee show on a Tuesday in June? Why? Why does he need to do that? What's the point? Is there some pressing thing happening with Aaron Rodgers? He didn't go on there to announce that he's signing with the Steelers. We already knew that. It's just a Tuesday in June. Here I am. Here I am to talk about whatever I want to talk about. But when I'm done playing, you'll never hear from him again. Baloney. Baloney. Here's how you can prove, Aaron, you want to prove to us that you truly can walk away from the spotlight? Don't do the McAfee show this year. Just don't do it. Do your Wednesday press conference, do your post-game press conference, and leave it at that. Fulfill your media obligations and leave it at that. Don't do anything else. So, again, maybe he doesn't even realize how he's going to feel when he's done playing and nobody cares about him anymore. That's the thing. You go from being guy that people intensely care about to guy no one cares about. Are you going to live out your next 40, 50 years as guy no one cares about when you've spent most of your adult life as the center of attention? Can you do that? Maybe you can. But I just have to go on the evidence that I have available to me. The fact that you can't go a month of June without popping on to McAfee's show and being the center of attention for 40 minutes or however long the conversation was, I haven't watched it yet, that tells me you're not going to be able to do it when you're done playing. So call me out, Rodgers stands, for not being able to be quiet about Aaron Rodgers. But for as long as he can't be quiet, I won't be quiet either. And the only reason I'm talking about him today is because he chose yesterday on the slowest Tuesday we've seen so far this year in the NFL. But for the collusion grievance, but for that, he chose the low tide period of the NFL calendar to pop off. The other thing he said, and then I'm going to move on, he said he was talking to Mike Tomlin every week before he signed, and that just confirms that he made a strategic calculation. How will I be less of a distraction? Will I be less of a distraction if I don't sign with the Steelers and don't participate at all in the voluntary offseason program? Or will I be less of a distraction if I do sign and I'm not there? And he decided he's less of a distraction if he just doesn't sign. I think the day that he showed up, that Friday, first Friday of the NCAA men's tournament, all those folks, all those poor folks in the building waiting to watch basketball all day long. Here comes Aaron Rodgers for 6 hours to Bigfoot the second day of the, and I'm kidding, I'm smiling as I say it, but why didn't he just wait till Monday to come spend 6 hours at the facility? But I think from that day forward, he knew he was going to do it, and they decided to wait until he was ready to show up and participate. Because if he'd signed and then disappeared, that would have been a thing. It clearly would have been a thing. All right, I think I've said everything I need to say about Aaron Rodgers. But again, those of you who want to say, oh, all you do is talk about Aaron Rodgers, the only reason I'm saying anything is because he saw fit to talk yesterday. And if he doesn't see fit to talk every Tuesday during the regular season on McAfee's show, we won't have anything to say on Tuesday or Wednesday. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.